Hello guys, my name is Grav and welcome to the 2024 SDPN NHL season previews. I just realized I came in here without a proper introduction. I should probably do that. Well, hello SDPN, it's great to meet y'all. I'm Nathan, aka Grav, and I am the owner of the hockey YouTube channel Gravite. I worked with Steve a little bit on the Sportsnet YouTube channel making videos for them, and I've been watching the Steve Dangle podcast since 2016, man. Avid Dangle Navy supporter through and through, and Steve and the gang have graciously given me the opportunity to make some season previews for the SDPN YouTube channel, so make some season previews for you guys, and hopefully we'll make some more content beyond that. But every bit is appreciated, and it's great to have you guys for the first edition as we go through every single NHL team. If you have one of the best jerseys in NHL history, you show it off. And today we are starting with the Anaheim Ducks. But before we get into the season previews, let's first shout out our folks over at Sports Interaction. Get in on the action and make your bet with Sports Interaction. Baseball is going strong and a lot of other sports are going hard. You can bet before the game, live and in play with all your favorite teams. Go to sportsinteraction.com/SDPN or download the app to get started. Make sure you're 19 plus, and of course, please play responsibly. Now let's preview the 2024 Anaheim Ducks, who are looking to build on a season last year that saw them got a whopping 58 points on the year and finishing the season with a 13-game losing streak. I mean, I hope they're better next year, my goodness. Now there's good news for the Ducks right now, with their head coaching being completely overhauled. Dallas Eakins getting the axe as former Ducks head coach, and now coming in will be Greg Cronin, who served as the Colorado Eagles head coach in the AHL, the Avs AHL team, for 5 straight seasons, looking to get some development in the younger players. With the Avs, there were some good developments, players like Logan O'Connor and players like Alex Newhook, developing pretty solid down there, so the Ducks are looking to have some massive improvement on the roster now, but also some improvement in the development that Dallas Eakins just couldn't provide for them. And then we go on to the player additions this offseason, really in my opinion highlighted by Radko Gudas, who makes their defense so much better. It was a huge need to add a D, and they did it with the wealth of cap space they have. He's 33 years old, but was so good in that Florida defense this last year, and really just over the last few years as this great physical connected D that's able to read the game responsibly defensively and really knows his limits, really knows his strengths and weaknesses. In Anaheim, he's not going to get a lesser role. He's going to be thrown to the wolves, but he's the type of quiet D-man that can throw some big hits, can teach all the young guys, bring some solid defensive game, and put up some points too. I mean, this last year, 17 points in 72 games, not too shabby there. And to get that type of player of $4 million for not even a crazy amount of term, only being 3 years, taking him until he's 36, that's some solid business there by Anaheim, and to me, exactly the move they needed to make. Now, they also got some more defensive depth, getting Robert Haig, 6'2", 209 pounds. He's a player that's kind of gone all over the place in the NHL, going from teams like Philadelphia to Buffalo to Florida to Detroit this last year. For Anaheim, he might be on that bottom pair, and although I don't think he's all that particularly good, could still eat up some minutes, and for Anaheim, that's still what you need. But then we go on to the big forward edition in Alex Killorn, making $6.25 million for the next 4 years. It is an expensive gamble, but also for Killorn, he provides some really interesting stability on that forward group. He's also 33 years old, just like Gudas, but will be turning 34 this September, so a little bit older. But of course, that power forward game that we've come to love with Tampa will still reign true. And even though I don't think he'll be crazy productive with the Ducks, he'll be a top 6 winger that they need and a powerful, older force that the Ducks could really use. This last year, 64 points in 82 games, a player that was just too expensive for Tampa to afford, is exactly the player Anaheim should be bringing in. For a forward group that has a lack of veterans besides Anaheim Reek and Jacob Silverberg, Alex Killorn brings a unique blend and a good power forward game that I think once players like Henrique are likely traded at the deadline will be great in that second half. Now, when we look at the players to watch for the Ducks this next year, 3 different guys really catch my eye. First is the 2 goaltenders here. John Gibson as the first, to me, will be a fascinating player to watch this next year. Will he see a rebound season finally for the first time in a few seasons? Will he get traded before the season starts or around the trade deadline? Lots of rumors surrounding him, a lot of questions over whether he wants to be in an Anaheim rebuild. The start for this Anaheim Ducks squad will really test that. You also got Lucas Dostal, who is the heir to the throne for the Ducks starting position. He's already shown some solid things last year of Anaheim in a limited 19-game stint, but he's a player that'll be a solid backup for Gibson. and when he's likely traded, will be the starter there for the future, has shown so much over these last few years and is one of the best goalie prospects in the NHL. Him taking that next step will be huge for the Ducks. And then for my third player, I got Jamie Drysdale, who was injured for a humongous chunk of last season, but is still a extremely promising offensive defenseman. He really does need to show a breakout year, though, this next season. A lot of the Ducks rides on Drysdale, and even though they got amazing offensive D coming up like Zellweger and Mentukov, Drysdale is going to be massive for them. This next season is going to be the one that we see that big next push. But you look at what they're going to be rolling out this next year on forward, and there's going to be some really interesting stories. Of course, Killorn coming into the lineup, players like Zegras, Terry, McTavish, and players like Isaac Lundestrom as well, seeing how they grow. But overall, this forward group is still not going to be that great. Likely in the lower tier of the NHL. I'm going to give them a D+ as of right now, and it might honestly still be, even with Killorn, maybe the weakest part of the roster, at least with the defense being a little bit upgraded. And then you got the defense, which has some really fascinating stories. Of course, Radko Gudas in his first year there. Then you got players like Olin Zellweger, Jackson LeCombie, Drew Hellison. An extremely young defense here for Anaheim that hopefully will have some massive players coming out of the roster for their first full seasons and doing well. Especially players like Zellweger who have true promise here for the Ducks. That might show some good improvement. I'm going to give for the Ducks their defense a C-. If the youth really shows up well, though, it could actually be a surprising decor. And then you got the goaltending, which looks pretty decent here. Even if John Gibson hasn't had a great season in a while, Lucas Dostal, and I think the next season he's going to have, can really improve Anaheim's goaltending tandem. To me, I'm going to give them a C+. Once Gibson's gone, it'll definitely make it a little bit worse, but I believe in Dostal through and through. This guy is legit. Overall, even though the Ducks will have some improvement this next year, I don't see it being a massive amount of improvement. To me, they'll go from 58 points to 65 this next year. A respectable jump, maybe not the jump the Ducks wanted, but to me, that Pacific Division is a nightmare, especially right after them. And to me, they might get a few wins here and there against San Jose, but nothing that's going to be absolutely amazing for them. And there will be improvement in the young core. I do believe they will take that next step, but I don't know if it'll translate to winning success now. I really don't see that happening unless we see a massive amount of growth in that defense and that goaltending especially. But I see them finishing 7th in the Pacific Division, having a jump, but again, maybe not the jump they've wanted. But that youth development being the most important thing, and it working out pretty well throughout the course of the season. Let's hope Zegras takes that next step too, gets a little bit better defensively. A man can dream. But that's going to be it for the first season preview of the 2024 NHL season here on the SDPN YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys didn't enjoy the first episode, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell if you want to see more. We'll be doing the Arizona Coyotes season preview next, so do not go anywhere, and we'll get to your team every single day as we go one every day for the next 32 days. We'd love to see you there. Thank you so much for giving my first video on the SDPN channel a chance. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, and goodbye.